Welcome. We are going to do some work with constructions today. It should be the first time a lot of you guys have done this, except maybe if you looked at your Delta map, you have a little preview. So to get started, you need a compass, you need a straight edge, those are the two main things, and then you need an additional pencil. I'm using a pen for this part just so you guys can see it a little better on the video. It's not terrible to use a pen, but it might be a good idea to use a pencil in case you need to erase. All right, let's get started. To adjust your compass, make sure that it kind of like opens and closes, like it's a little difficult so that it's kind of sticks in place, but isn't too difficult so that you like won't move. In order to adjust the tightness, just turn this knob. If it's too loose, tighten it, and if it's too tight, loosen it. You should make sure that the pencil point and pokey point are basically touching. And if you need to sharpen this pencil, you can just use one of the pencil sharpeners at your table to do that. All right, let's get started. So we're going to start first with just practice paper. I'd like to just talk about how a compass works, even though it might be pretty straightforward. You just set the pokey end on the paper to steady it. You don't like dig it in. And then holding this like a pencil, like use your compass like that. Like so you'll sweep an arc, not holding the pencil itself, but letting the compass hold the pencil. If you guide the pencil too much, you could actually cause it to be less accurate. You might want to start by making a full circle on your paper and make sure your compass is actually calibrated right by continuing to just kind of be sure that it hits the same spot on the circle every time. And if it does, that's great. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our first order of business, which is to copy a line segment. So once again, we're going to work on practice paper, so you should have plain white paper in front of you. And then when you're done with this, you can get constructions part 1 and fill in everything there. All right, so to make a line segment, start by making a line segment that you're going to copy. This can be maybe a couple inches long, it doesn't have to be super long. And define endpoints. We're not going to label endpoints today. We're just going to focus on the mechanics of copying it. So your problem will look like this when you get it. We'll say copy a line segment, and you'll have a line segment already drawn. So you're going to start by making a point. We're going to use that as one of the endpoints of our line segment. Then take your compass and measure your line segment. So a compass is not only a drawing device, but a measuring device. Actually draw a measurement arc to be sure that your compass is really hitting exactly where you want it to. Then, without changing your compass, move it to put the pokey end on the point that you drew and draw an arc there. To create our new line segment, we're just going to connect, actually we could make a point here too. We're going to connect this point to a point on that arc that we just made. And no, it doesn't matter where you put this point on the arc because it's like a radius basically. It should be the same length. The geometry marks that we're going to do here are just going to be congruence marks, and you're done. You'll also see a problem that says construct a line segment whose length is double the given line segment. So let's do that. Let's make a new line segment and define endpoints. It doesn't have to be super long because we're going to double it. So using a pencil, we're going to make a background line. So go ahead and use your ruler and just make, I'm going to try to do this. I can't get my head directly over what I'm doing because the camera's there, but I hope this is right. So make like a background line. This is going to be our template. Now, using the compass, we're going to measure the original segment like that. I need to get a little adjusted there. And then we're going to start by making a point on our background line, sweeping an arc, and then you can make a point that will help you place the compass again, sweep another arc. Make your final endpoint, and then connect this with maybe darker pencil, or if you are using a pen, use that. And that is your line segment. We're going to leave the background line, leave the measurement arcs. All of these are construction marks that we use to define or to show our work. In constructions, that's how we show our work, is by leaving all those things. We don't erase them. All right. The next thing we're going to do is construct a perpendicular bisector of a line segment. So let's start by just drawing a line segment and defining the endpoints. So I want to create a perpendicular bisector. So perpendicular means that it's 90 degrees to this line, and bisector means it cuts it directly in half. In order to do that, we're going to essentially make parts of two overlapping circles. So start by opening up your compass past the midline, like clearly past the midpoint of your line segment, maybe to 2/3 or almost that. And then sweep an arc like that. So we're like drawing part of a circle. Then, without changing the compass, switch to the other endpoint and sweep another arc. So you've made basically 2 points that are equal distance to the endpoints, here, here, and also here and here. What this will mean is that this is exactly perpendicular to this line, and it's also exactly in the middle of these 2 points. The perpendicular bisector is basically a move that you guys will use a lot in more complicated constructions. We can make 45-degree or 90-degree angles this way. It's the start of 45-degree angles. We can make squares this way. We find the center point of an angle this way, and all kinds of stuff. All right, so the construction marks that we make here are, we make one square to show that it's a right angle, not a little square in each corner, but just one. And then we make congruence marks. All right, I will go ahead and start the new video next.